Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Well, folks, the NBA was off last night. Who knows? Only God knows. Only Adam Silver knows why the entire NBA had a day off. Was it a holiday? Did the world shut down? What happened, folks? Well, I've been seeing many videos of people saying celebrities have gone broke. Celebrities are now broke. And most celebrities will go broke. But a big thing is now more celebrities today are broke more than ever. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Oh, we'll touch on a couple of things today. It won't be a particular topic, but we'll touch on a few things in this right here. The media trying to backpedal after we've been saying this for years, that the NBA is a dying product, that the NBA will be like MLB soon, NHL soon. And now they want to backpedal and blame it on the commissioner. And we'll talk about that. So let's first talk about what really isn't sports, but people are now saying that actors and sports players and professional athletes are broke. More are broke today than ever. And it just seems to be a consistent theme for a minute now. Folks, what have I been telling you? I told you that I don't believe these NBA players make this kind of money. I don't believe it. Since 2012, the NBA has lost half of their viewership. So that tells me right there that year after year, since 2012, year after year after year, people have ran away from this product, walked away, wasn't amused, wasn't entertained. But instead of the NBA making this thing better, they rewarded these players with bigger contracts. How does that make any sense? If you're losing viewership, you're losing money. Folks, let's understand, it's just not about people sitting down there and watching TV and watching your game. But ultimately, you're going to lose money in merch and all kind of other things. Endorsements, advertising, yes, they still have it, folks. But it should be at a higher level than ever before. Right? So to me, what I think they did is start lying to the fans and start telling them, well, no, these guys are even though our product isn't selling, these guys are still making record-breaking contracts. And they couldn't tell you a real reason why. So all these shenanigans came out from these talk shows and, stuff like that, and start saying they deserve this money because look what the owners make. Don't be counting another man's money. You worried about a black man's money. All this dumb stuff that makes zero sense, folks. The people that work at Walmart they say Walmart is the biggest money-making company in the world. A lot of people work for billion-dollar companies, right? $100 million companies. All this stuff, and they don't make anything close to what their boss makes or what they deserve. It's the most ludicrous thing you ever heard. These guys playing a child's game deserve this money. That should never be said. Never. Never be said. Over firefighters, police officers, people that go to military, scientists, teachers, if I didn't say that, a lot of people that work in steel mills, their job ain't more special than anybody else's job. They dribble a damn ball. trust me. Don't tell me, oh, well, they're elite guys. Everybody can't do this. Well, everybody can't do certain other jobs neither, right? They can't do it. You only want the best of the best at the company. Some people might come and some people might go at your company, but you know who's the best of the best. Just like in sports. People come and go, but you eventually see who's the best of the best. A lot of them guys don't deserve to be making $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, if I was to believe they're making this kind of money. Because they get out there and they do nothing, folks. Nothing that will warrant you to make millions of dollars. With that being said, folks, let's get back. Sometimes you got to pull me back. I don't live in these people's world. They live in a... Let me keep going. So the NBA's biggest pitch was to get these guys more money for being deficient, not being able to entertain the fans. Their skill level at their job decreased, didn't get really no better, except they start doing things that you wasn't allowed to do back in the days. Not play defense and only shoot on the damn perimeter and have no positional skills. Okay? If you've seen something entertaining for decades, and then all of a sudden they take it away from you, and you're like, what the hell is this? I can tell you something, guys. In my industry, I've been doing it for over 20 years. And now you have people coming in here doing it the wrong way. You know why? Because it's the cheaper way. It's the cheaper way. It's not about doing stuff the right way and making it look good, doing a good job. As long as it's done, it's okay now. This is the world we live in now, folks. And I see this stuff every day and I can't even believe it. And the fact is, if they had to do it the correct way, these new people that's coming in, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So we can talk about that in a minute, some more, something that translates towards it. That's in a lot of industries now. These people aren't good at what they do. You have women and children today building houses. I'm serious. You have women and children on the side of the road. I wouldn't say children, but something close to it. But of course, women from Central America doing road work. You have women in bulldozers doing road work. You have, like I said, women and children building houses today. Doing the roof, doing the stucco, doing the framing, doing the drywall. It's the craziest thing you ever seen, folks. And now, every phase too. Tile, carpet, molding. Hell, just to build a house, you're talking about, at least 20 different phases just to build a house. And guess what? None of that's going into the hands of American people, right? And we can talk a little bit about that too. Trump saying he's going to go after all these illegal people. Well, I can tell you this. Even though I didn't like the Democrats and I think they're criminals, I don't think you go after these people. They were told what to do. So that's what they've been doing by the Biden administration coming over here. Those people in the Biden administration should be getting prosecuted to the fully, right? The president, vice president, all these people, not trying to go after the people who did what they were told to do. With that being said, you have billions of dollars in blue collar industry jobs for years now going into the hands of people who aren't even legal in the United States, shouldn't even be working. That's another thing is, I thought we had stopped that a while ago to where, you had to show some real type of paperwork to work. Every little law they pass, it just, seems to go away for some reason, right? And we all know why the companies hire these people, because they don't have to pay them workman's comp, they don't have to pay them insurance, they don't have to pay them most of them hourly wage. They have no connection to them except for they show up with a work number. Now, one of them can come with a work number, and then he get the rest of them to work for him, right? He has a work number, and Now he can work. All he has to do is apply for a work. Now, it's the most ridiculous thing you ever heard of. You're illegal. You're not supposed to be here, but they're going to give you a work number and the lawyer gets it for you. How does this make any sense? And then in, certain states, if you use that work number and you pay taxes for 2 years or some of them a year, you can now get a license without working. I mean, that's been for a while. I think they pass a law in California talking about you can't even stop them from getting a license. Remember that was passed in like 2013. You cannot deny a person who is illegal, they can't get a license. What? But if you go up there and you're illegal, you got paperwork, you was born here, and you ain't got no damn address or nothing with your address on it and your social security and all this stuff, they're going to give you hell. They will not let you get a license or ID, all this stuff. The problem with the system is you're taking billions of dollars and you're not even putting it in the hands of Americans. These people are sending the money right back home. They're not better workers. Oh man, they're people better workers, man. They work hard. Okay, make them legal tomorrow. I bet they run out the fields, run out the construction sites, run out the factories. Because you got to ask yourself, why aren't the other legal immigrants doing what they do, right? Since they're these hard workers, how come the Indians, the Arabs, some of the other Spanish people, Asians, that all these people that come over here and are legal, how come they're not doing that stuff that most of these Central Americans are doing? And like I said, if it's such a good job and they're hard workers, then give them the same status tomorrow and they'll run the hell out in fields, factories, construction sites. See you later. Because guess what? They don't want to do it. They have to do it because of their status. Don't give me this is the news programming. Oh, these guys they're just better workers. Let me tell you what. I'm a pretty big dude. If you pay me the right money, I will go out there and pick strawberries on these fools any day. I will go to the factory and outwork them any day. I will go to the roof and outwork somebody that's 5'3", 5'4", 5'5", 125 pounds. They can't outwork me. This is an illusion, folks. That's what the news sells you, an illusion. The people who built this country originally, mostly black people and white people, were the hard workers. And I bet you none of these people from Central America could outwork them when they was building this country back in the day. Or when they was the people in the factories, the farms, construction sites. And guess what? They didn't have all this stuff that they got today. Prefabrications to build stuff and electrical generators and nail guns, all this. No. Y'all got to stop. Yes, they are hard workers on their own, but don't try to act like they're harder workers than everybody else. It's just that the companies don't want to pay ish. Say like if you were doing the same thing, right? I go to the construction site, I go to the strawberry fields, I go to the factory. You think I could pull up as an American citizen and say, look, here's my work number and all this boo, boo, boo. Nope. Guess what? You got to pay me workman's comp. You got to pay me insurance. You got to pay me by the hour. Sounding different now, right? You know what they call that? Oh, you got to pay me overtime. You got to give me vacation time. You know what they call that, folks? That used to be called the American way, right? You make some money, I make a little bit of money. You make some money, I make some money. But today, they call it, what do they call it? They call that laziness. You don't want to work. That's what they call that. Fair wages, fair labor, they call that laziness. These people don't want to work. It's not lazy anymore. And these people want to work. If you ain't getting paid workman's comp, no insurance, not by the hour, no overtime, no vacation time, that's a great worker. These people are just great workers. And they work by the job. Let's move on, folks. Let's get back to the NBA. So, I never believed these guys make this kind of money. It makes no sense, folks. They told, I won't say you. I'm gonna just say me. They told me that because they wanted me to believe that these guys make this money so they can up the prices on tickets, merch, beer, hot dogs, parking, food, everything when you go to a game. Yeah. A league that's dying. Year after year after year after year after year after year. But yet, once these guys retire, what happens, folks? They're battling for a job on ESPN, Fox, the local basketball team network, putting on makeup, reading from teleprompters, all this stuff. Let me ask you, folks, before we move on. And let me say this. So you retire from your job. Woo! Man, it's about time. It's about time. All those years at your job, you was there, and now you're getting pension, you're getting 401k, you're getting Social Security, you got hundreds of thousands in the bank. Your house is paid off, your cars are paid off. And then suddenly, for no reason, you just wake up like you have amnesia, Alzheimer's, dementia, and you forget that you have nothing to worry about in your retirement. And it was time to sit down and enjoy the rest of your life after working all those years. Folks, we could never imagine making tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in a career. That's the stuff we talk about when we say, man, I hope my numbers hit, man. I want to hit the lottery, man. I will never work again, man. I will sit back and lay back because when you do more, it's more headaches. Like I always told people, if I hit the lottery, this is because people always say, man, I'll go buy this, man, I'll go buy that, man, I'll go buy this. And I go, well, check it out. This is what I would do. If I hit the lottery and I had tens of millions of dollars, what I'm going to do is nobody is going to see me for a year or two. And I'm going to go on a vacation for a year or two. I'm going to go to Spain. I'm going to go to Australia, Canada, the Bahamas, Cancun, everywhere. What the hell am I going to go buy stuff? Who cares? It's like going back to work. I'm not working. So what I'm trying to say is, these people, these NBA players, and you could say, a lot of other, players, a lot of other guys in other sports or athletes, but we're talking about the NBA. They retire and they go back to work after making tens of millions and hundreds of millions, folks. You could look at some of these role players and they made upward or more of $100 million in their careers, especially in the 2010s on until now. So what I'm trying to say is, when we're talking about celebrities are broke now, folks, they never made this money in the first place. It's a hoax. We didn't know some of this stuff back until this stuff came out. I think it was more like I want to say in the 2000s. I forget. What is that thing that used to come out? Was it called Beef or something like that? It was on MTV or VH1 or was it called Beef or something like that? But they used to have all these rappers beefing and all that stuff, and cops watching them, and undercover informants and all this stuff. But anyways, it was pretty good, even though now we might know it's fake. But nevertheless, what they came out with and what they were telling in some of those episodes was how these musicians don't make any money. They don't make any money. And just this don't just go up to rappers. We're talking about musicians in the music industry in general. And they just came out with something not too long ago about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. And they were telling how the industry will lie about these guys' record sales just to get you to start buying records. And we can also know they probably been doing that for a long time. But they were saying these guys don't make no money in the music industry is because their songs are written by somebody else. 99% of even rappers, not just singers. You gotta back then you gotta pay off producers, all kind of different producers, right? You had like maybe 6-7 different producers to either produce a song or produce the album, right? I said songwriters, beat makers, distribution. I remember they talked about that one time. Distribution. That's where the money is. Anybody, remember they used to trick us and say, oh man, no, this dude got a record label. You can start a record label tomorrow with an LLC. And we thought, oh, these dudes making big money. Nope. It's the distribution companies that make all the money like that. And they was telling about that. It's the distribution. Well, what I'm trying to say is these artists really don't make any money. That's why you hear, oh man, such and such went broke. They really never had no money. All they came into it with was being able to sing. And the majority of their singing or rapping or whatever, it was, they had skills or they could sing, whatever like that. But guess what? A lot of that stuff was auto-tunes. Auto-tunes didn't start only back in the 2000s, folks. They've been doing that since the 60s. As far as making people's voice sound more than what it was. Don't get me wrong. A lot of them can still sing, but I'm just saying, auto-tunes got out of control in the 2010s. These guys basically didn't have no talent at all in the 2010s. So they had to use auto-tunes times 4. And you see where we are today. And this goes along with Hollywood too, being broke, whatever like that. You know, actresses and actors. You got to realize they just come as actresses and actresses. You have all these different producers, all these different writers, all these different clothes, makeup, all this stuff. They have little money, folks. They have little money. And this has been known for years. All they have is a card. And it can be shut down at any minute. They're made to be stars by Hollywood. Hollywood is all connected from sports, music, movies, all this stuff is connected. So what I'm trying to say is these people never had no money. All they were able to do was be the actor, be the singer, be the player. That's very little compared to everything surrounding that person that made that person. A lot of you guys really won't never understand that. Hollywood has been controlled for a long time. They don't care about you. You want to be famous or not? Okay. We'll give you some money, make you look good, but you're doing very little in the grand scheme of things of what we have to do to make you look good. Have you ever seen these comedians? They supposed to make tens of millions of dollars in these movies. Now they're in hole in the wall settings. They're not filling out arenas. Oh, Chris Tucker, Martin Lawrence. These guys, what? There's no way I'm going to some little town in Louisiana at the Improv if I'm Martin Lawrence. After I made all those badass movies? That's what I'm trying to tell you, folks. These guys, it doesn't make any sense what they're trying to tell you. It doesn't make any sense that these guys are reading off a Man, look at DJ. Look at Shaq running around DJ. I said that to a person, and they try to make the biggest excuse, because that's what we do. We're adults. We tell our children, at one point, hey, you gotta grow up. You gotta grow up. You gotta grow up. Or it's not gonna be good for you in the future. You gotta grow up. But adults don't want to grow up. We try to make excuses to get out of reality. And I'm like, look at Shaq. Why is this guy DJing? Oh man, that's what he like to do. What? So you're gonna fly in somewhere literally where nobody really can see you up on stage. You're not gonna come out and only be out for a couple hours, if that, and fly the hell back home. That's what you like doing? You're supposed to already make hundreds of millions of dollars. You're Shaq. This sounds like the most ludicrous thing I would ever waste my time on in my life. Make up the excuse. Go ahead. I hear them every day by adults because we don't want to accept what? That we've been lied to. And it's not that. You don't want to accept that you've been lied to, that people, from people or by people that you trusted. And why do you trust these people? Because they got money. Because they're rich. Why do you trust them? It's the reason why they tell you how much money they make. You think we should know how much Stephen A. Smith is making? And why we should cry over how much he might not get? The most ludicrous stuff you ever heard. Why? Why do they tell you this? So you can be at his damn feet. That he's a better person than you. That he deserves all this money. So they can boost up this and that and that and this. On cable now. It's all nonsense, folks. Believe if you want, LeBron James made $1 billion off of losing. No, this guy made $1 billion off the media making all this money off of him in his fraudulent career. That's right, folks. That's why they have told you this guy has $1 billion, or why he has made a bunch of money, because they have made so much money off of lying about him. And the only way they can keep the NBA alive is bullish. So I got to get off of here, but you guys tell me what you think, man. I don't even think we covered all the topics. But it is what it is, man. We'll get back into some more of these topics later on. Yeah, but that's why the NBA is going dead, because this guy right here, they don't want to admit it because they were part of it. Tell me what you think.